Hello, my name is Olivia Bova. I'm a psychologist and counselor socio-emotional. With my creative talk, I would like to share with you the amazing life and ideas of people around the world because each person is unique and special. Hello, today we are here with Simonetta. Hello, Simonetta. Can you introduce yourself, who you are, where you are, and you are in an amazing place there. So maybe you can explain to the people your project. Yeah.
Of course. Good morning, Olivia. Well, good morning because I am in Miami and Florida. So it's 10 in the morning, 10:15, and it is a morning for us. It's a beautiful summer. It's very, very hot. And I am right now at Atelier School, which is my school that I funded more than 25 years ago. So we are very excited about this anniversary. And again, as you said, my name is Simonetta Cittadini, so I'm an Italian, half Colombian,
Okay.
a little bit Brazilian.
Wow.
Because we lived also in Brazil when I was much younger. So, you know, one part of my heart is Brazilian. And I lived in the United States since 27 years, I would say. So I am Italian and Colombian, I would say, is a very strong base of my identity, right? And because I went to the French schools of my life.
Ah, you went to the French school? So you speak French, tu parles français?
Français, bien sûr, et c'est pour ça que l'atelier, c'est le nom de l'école.
Yeah.
So I was immediately presented very, very, very young the word atelier.
Okay, yeah.
And atelier has always been a presence in my house. My mother is an artist. In my childhood, with my school. And I think that from the French system, about, you know, many things, what stayed with me is this word atelier. And I've always had this idea that an atelier should be a place that everybody has, where everybody can be, dependently if it's about art or anything else, and where you can really create and learn about yourself and about the world. So I think that with this idea is that the idea of L'Atelier School was born first as a workshop.
Okay.
Very, very at the beginning, just as a workshop. And then 6 months later, I learned about the Reggio Emilia schools in Italy. And I read in an article by Lella Gandini that in the center of the school, there was an atelier.
Yeah.
And how can that be that there is an atelier, which is what I have, in the center of a school? So it was a very interesting and surprising news that the schools will actually include an atelier inside.
Yeah.
So I went to Reggio, which was very easy to me because we lived in Milano and my parents' house is in Siena. So we always, you know, pass through Reggio. And in September 2nd, which was the day of my birthday, by chance, we met Carla Rinaldi, Sergio Spaggiari at the Diana School in Reggio Emilia with the teachers. And I'm talking about, you know, just September. And we didn't know that an incredible story was going to develop from that meeting. So I entered the Diana School and I saw a beautiful atelier. This is what my eyes could see.
Yeah.
You know, school that is organized in, you know, pleasure, in beauty, in research, in this idea of being together with materials. And to me, it sounded like an atelier.
Yeah.
So when I share with them my story that I was very young at that time, you know, we're talking about 26 years ago. I came back to Miami and we made the decision to evolve or transition L'Atelier workshop into L'Atelier school.
School, yeah, okay.
Because we can have a school atelier. And that has been the identity that we have developed through the many, many years after that in the story of the school.
So the school, when I imagine was a small school, started with maybe some
We started with the founding families of the workshop that with them
okay, with them you started school.
said, imagine
Uh-huh.
a school that is an atelier. So
Okay.
instead of having one time a week that you come for an art class,
Mm-hmm.
instead you have a concept of atelier, of learning in context and with the many languages in a beautiful environment with a community and with the participation of the families. So the founding families of L'Atelier School that I very much, remember, cherish, and we're still connected, funded the Atelier, which is this place that I am now here,
Oh,
and
okay.
that exactly that I am now here, and that are the walls tell the story of what we have been doing.
Oh, it's great. It's the same place.
It's the same place. We look for a place that could have also in its let's say uh, also in its, let's say, landscape, in its building, the identity what we're looking for. So we are surrounded by 17 mango trees.
Wow.
And it's not easy sometimes in Miami, in the city, to find a school, or it is not so difficult. But let's say for us, it was important that the school would have that place and that will have those roots, those trees.
Uh-huh.
And then we built the school. We found this house that was torn down by Hurricane Andrew,
Mm-hmm.
completely destroyed. And we said there's a big potential here to reconstruct and construct something new for education. So we love the trees, we reorganized the school, and we created a school that could be see-through, transparent. I can maybe go around a little bit and I can show
Wow.
some maybe some ideas of lights and transparency, you see.
Yeah,
So
yeah, yeah, yeah. Wow.
a little bit of that. So L'Atelier School is a school that is transparent in terms of its glasses and its glass doors and windows, and the nature comes in a very nice way.
Beautiful. Hey, how is evolved the Atelier School? Because is now is a 25 or years old, so by many years I think you started with also preschool, probably I don't know, now you is grow years by years, but
So yes, imagine that last year, the COVID year, was our 25th anniversary.
oh, okay. Oh, yeah.
But I think it was the most beautiful present we could have received because we were 1 week from the big party of 25 years with the families, with the children. We had created an incredible, let's say, connection with the families to celebrate in many different cultural ways because our school represents that. And then we had to cancel and close everything because we had to go home and quarantine.
Yeah.
So it kind of stopped in time, 25 years later, right in the moment. And and I say it was a gift because it gave us the opportunity to really stop and look at everything that had happened in the past and
Okay.
think, how do you want to go in the future? So it was a very timely situation, and then the story continues in another beautiful way, but that's another story. So basically we were born as an art workshop. We decided with the founding families of the workshop to become a school
Yeah.
with Atelier inside.
Okay.
That was the first identity. 3 to 5 years old, few families, and then begin to build. So we did through the years two additions to the building. So we increased our capacity, first one and then another one, and then we became a school of 80 children from 3 months to 5 years old.
Okay.
And then through the years we added kindergarten. So we are a school that goes up the way to kindergarten, and that the children after here go to first grade, to elementary school.
Okay, and because it's Atelier school, so do you follow the Reggio Emilia approach or?
Of course. Yeah, since the beginning, we have in our DNA, in our identity, let's say, the sense of we were born as an atelier. Okay. When we met Reggio Emilia 6 months later, we realized how this could be connected with the concept of school. In the year 2000, we began our consultancy with Amelia Gambetti from Reggio Children. Okay. And then she became a partner and a member of our faculty, and she came to our school once or twice a year sometimes, okay. Throughout all of these 20 years, all the time. So we began really to, let's say, study the Reggio Emilia approach, understand how to develop our own identity inspired by Reggio Emilia. And it was a very clear decision since the beginning. We are Reggio Emilia inspired, and we are very faithful to that. And we invested in a very strong way in professional development. Actually, I think that the evolution of the school, as you say, on how we have, let's say, changed through the years, is based on professional development as the core situation of the development of a school. So our let's say organization of times with the teachers, also 2 hours after the children go home, they stay to communicate among each other per teams about what is happening, analyze the experience, document, and be able to project for the next, situations to come, is something that happens since the beginning.
Yeah.
And then with Amelia Gambetti and with Reggio Children, always attending their professional development, summer study courses, and also, developing through the years the relationships with the United States educators, we became, let's say, very clearly defined Reggio Emilia inspired school. So that was something always very important.
So do you also give professional development to other school in the United States or maybe in Central South America about the Reggio Emilia approach?
Yes. So basically, what developed is that it's a school that has the identity of being a researcher and of understanding how to learning how to learn. Okay. So as we are learning how to learn with Amelia, we also developed since the beginning, very, very young in their experience and young teachers, the attitude of sharing our work. Okay. So open the school for visits to other educators, go to other schools to visit, go to Reggio Emilia, also presenting sometimes in, for example, Crossing Boundaries, big conference in Reggio Emilia and other events, being able to have that dialogue. Yeah. So for us, the school developed 3 identities. Okay. The identity of a school, the identity of a professional development center, research center of documentation and understanding, and the identity of what came much later in the years, the Center for the Culture of Creativity, the CCC. Wow. So now if you look, we are, let's say in our website, we are a school that was born as a school with an atelier inside, and that became through the years an atelier with a school inside.
Yeah.
So we really found our identity through the years, where the teachers have become, let's say, teachers atelieristas. Yeah. Okay. So where the continuous identity of our school, also because of my identity, cultural identity, the many countries where I lived, Miami is a place very cultural and very, connected with many ways of doing things. Yeah. So it's multicultural, multilingual, multi-ideas, multi-languages. So I think that identity of the city also entered in L'Atelier and became part of who we are. So it's an alive school with many different styles. There's a strong attitude and, let's say, way of doing, moving, doing, being in constant thinking and change, of course, based with the values, which have always been a strong concept. So through the years, the school evolved to be now 3 months old to kindergarten, the school, and the center, when it was born 3 years ago, is a center 0-100. Okay. So the school offers the preschool experience for the children up to first grade, and then they become CCC members of the community. And the CCC offers, it's a big center with many ateliers, where things can be moving and changing, and it's offered for the children of the school and also for the community.
But the center is in the same place of the school, or as another place?
It was born as a place next door to the school, as a big atelier, and we are right in front, so the children and the families will use it in daily basis. And now we are in the process, and this is the good news, of building our new school with the center together. And yes, create the whole system all together. And this is something that was good about the pandemic, because we kind of cultivated that idea and made the decision then to unify those two and be together, where we were going to have a center with a school inside, an atelier.
Wow, amazing. And when this amazing place will be?
I think that we can think about in 1.5 to 2 years, it will be completely open, ready to, to be launched. Okay. In the meantime, L'Atelier, this place is one that has so much meaning for us, and the roots and the experience is so strong. Also in the physical space, those trees that I chose were already old at that time, and now they're 25 years older. So I really hope that we can find a way to continue with this place and expand to others. So I think that many things are still need to happen. But what is interesting is that the CCC is a community place.
Okay.
It's a community place. L'Atelier was born as a private preschool, but always our attitude and our vision was towards open doors, what we call puertas abiertas. We cannot be who we are if our experience doesn't have an impact in the community, the close community and the older community. So this is why in 2003, 2004, I participated in the opening of NARIA, the North American Reggio Emilia, as a founding member, and for many, many years served the board, because I thought that what we do in a school cannot stay enclosed in those school walls.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
To really support and defend the rights for other people in the community. So as a founding member of NARIA, it became very important, let's say, to do that work. And then, as you mentioned earlier, also the connection with South America. Central America. I am Colombian. So as a Colombian and a Brazilian, so a lot of our colleagues and friends are really developing, interesting experience in South America. So we have relationships with Brazil, Argentina, Colombia, and other countries. Peru also is very interesting. So
right. I saw some in the website, do some research. I saw also Peru is doing
very interesting. So Miami is really a place where it's an open door from South America to North America. It's a transit place. So by chance, I fell in this city. I don't know why, because I was in Italy and I was supposed to stay in Italy, but life brought me here, also close to my roots as a Colombian. And Miami is really a meeting point, a melting pot for cultures and for people. So by being a little bit in the center between North America and South America, it becomes an interesting atelier encounter place. So we offer professional development from the point of view of the value of sharing the experience. not so much from the point of view of teaching something.
Yeah.
But to share and validate everyone's work and have the opportunity to think and research, let's say, in community. And this is something that it has become very important, for example, in our work with Brazil. With a colleague of mine, Renata Araújo, I think that, understanding how others do things is very important.
Wow, it's amazing. And do you have something project you want to share with us? Because well, of course, it would be great to visit the school, but this will be another time. But if you have some project, maybe you can share with us now, or.
Well, let's say, yes, we have many interesting ideas and many projects that, let's say, could develop, especially because, let's say, we use to put in the center of our study what we're wondering about in the moment. So the school develops the projections, let's say, for the school year are really centered into what we're thinking. At this moment, and for the last, I would say, good 5 years or more, something that is really important for us is what we call the culture of creativity.
Yeah, I understand.
What is that culture of creativity? What is creativity?
Yeah.
And unfortunately, we see that many times creativity is, somehow explained short just as art or as something. But we believe that children are born creative by nature.
Yeah, right.
That they are, I think, is very interesting. So the idea of thinking how to think, understanding how to relate to situations, develop experiences and explain them with the Center for the Culture of Creativity, that in the name has our big question of what is creativity.
Yeah.
We believe that developing a culture of creativity, but formed with the community, is an important task. So our research for the last years has been about that. What is the culture of creativity that is embedded in the children's potential and way of doing things? How do adults connect to this culture of creativity?
Yeah.
How can we shift from teaching in terms of just, giving skills to thinking with, and I think that one aspect that is interesting, and I have this book here where we are, there's a brain, the brain,
amazing.
the brain of, let's say, children in 2005, when, by the way, we were celebrating one of our anniversaries, and we had the beautiful presence of Nadia members, Carla Rinaldi, Sergio Spaggiari, all of them here. So the brain, I think that this is interesting, and I'm very grateful that we are in the cover, because it marks a milestone in our life of think about creativity, but creative learning. Creativity from the point of view of research. And this is a book about insights and inspirations in teachers from North America. So you have a lot of beautiful experiences for many different schools, in North America, that are also wondering and thinking about, let's say, creativity, and the 100 languages and the different ateliers, and also the inspiration from Reggio Emilia. And I think that to be with colleagues from, let's say, different schools, and for us to be connected to them, also sharing a story, becomes very important. I remember this letter for Amelia Gambetti about what it meant to us to be with her. How is it that children think about the brain and memory and their thoughts, and how do they understand that they understand, and the families and the many situations that, let's say, we live together, I think are very interesting, always thinking that we're in a context that is unique to Miami, you see. So this is 2005 and we're in 2021, and it's still current, let's say, the idea that we need to continue to research about creativity. And how, so what we have
No, no, sorry. I understand because I'm working on. I have these topics. I took these topics: emotion, creativity, intelligence, and I create a website about that. And my idea is to do the research about that because it's the same what you are saying. For me, the children are, they have the creativity, and how is not only art, is really we are creative human being, but we, how we, maybe we lost that part when we become adult. Or so I really, it's something I really created this concept, I emotion creative intelligence, and I really wanted to do research about that. And I don't know if it will be with university or by myself or visit Reggio Emilia school around the world. I don't know, but it's kind of yeah, I would like, I want to really.
Yeah, because what you're saying is, we have many questions, and we, as children that represent their theories using different media, we go back to the fact that they represent theories,
Yeah,
not art classes.
Yeah, no.
And this is a very important, situation. So the creativity, what we are finding is that it works kind of as a bridge between the other intelligences.
Yeah, right. Yeah, is this the same?
It doesn't necessarily stay only in the area of art, but it works as a bridge to travel. And we go back to the multiple intelligences theory, and where you have to really expand for more intelligences. And we're noticing how much the evolution through the action, through the emotion, through the expression, through the symbolic representations with the 100 languages really becomes like a bridge, but also like a glue, let's say, a good glue, not a stiff glue, that helps you connect things, you see. So our research is very connected to the idea of continuing to think with others and with someone like you that is interested in understanding what is creativity from a cognitive point of view, and from an emotional point of view, and from a creative point of view.
Yeah, right.
And we think that the more we continue to invest in a culture of creativity, the more we can become sensitive and sensible about the wonders of the world. And why is that important?
Yeah,
you see. So that is something that really helps us in our research. And the teachers that join, the new teachers or the atelieristas that have been us with teachers for many years, I think that they enter in this, in this concept, and we continue the work. And this is how the school develops and the CCC develops in the future.
And with the CCC, do you work with also university, or because, for example, Reggio has a connection with the university, Modena and Reggio Emilia, and they have a really also a PhD specialized in Reggio childhood. Do you work with them, or do you have a relationship, or?
We have had a relationship with Reggio since 2000, when Amelia Gambetti began here, and we continue, to let's say, look up to them and continue to develop. We do not have a formal, open, research project with them. This is something that we want to propose as we move forward, in the new building, in the new proposal that we're doing. I think that is an interesting way to also connect with other people that have asked us to connect, such as the Good Project from Harvard, and the idea of making learning visible, and how does that, can become part. So I think that the university, what we have worked with the CCC in terms of university is more with the local universities and the different schools, using the CCC as a resource, as a point of encounter to bring out questions that can be interesting. We have also worked with university in Barranquilla in Colombia, where some people have come to the CCC and to Atelier to do some internships that are valid as courses for the university there, Universidad del Norte. So that is another way in which we have connected. And it has been very interesting because, let's say, our experience at Atelier, I think, has crossed the boundaries of the countries, you know, and we have been able to serve the community that needs it. For example, we supported the birth of IO2 in Colombia many years ago, and now it's a private-public experience that has many children that otherwise they will be on the streets. Very quality advanced schools inspiring the Reggio Emilia approach. So that for us is important.
Oh yeah, of course. Wow. And it's amazing that there are another project. Would you like it? Because the school, you told me that Atelier school is until preschool. Would you like to have also elementary or maybe there is already a lot because you have Atelier school, professional development and CCC, but I know if you are thinking.
Well, that is a request that the parents have made so strongly for us. We thought about that. We do believe, though, that in order to create a new kind of elementary school, which is the only way we will do it, a new kind. Miami doesn't need one more elementary school.
Okay.
Maybe Miami needs a new kind of elementary school.
Yeah.
And that is something that we always have in mind as an opportunity, but for now, we decide to invest in the CCC as the community project that can, you know, really welcome everybody and expand into those lines. So I think that for right now, although the parents keep asking and keep, you know, thinking that a good transition between L'Atelier and this elementary school is something that is still not happening in Miami. It's not easy to find a school that can continue to invest in the process of listening.
Yeah.
More than just teaching, you know. So we have not said no. It's something that could come with the CCC as we move forward inside of the center, maybe. Who knows, Olivia?
Who knows? Yeah, right. And I have another question. Do you, Mom? Probably you already think also about that because you have the project is in Miami, all the three parts. Do you dream or are you thinking maybe to create another Atelier school in another part of, I know, United States or in the world? I don't know if you found someone really you have a connection and would you like to create like the same Atelier school and maybe a CCC or in another part of the world? I don't know if you already think about that or maybe.
I don't think so. We think that we want to stay away from the idea of franchising, reproducing. I think that we really want to invest more on L'Atelier reaching out all these areas in the world in the way we can, and people reaching out to us. Okay. So we decided to invest all our energy in one place, in one community, with the idea that this is open doors and we can find ways to connect. And what I lived last year with the pandemic, I think we connected more last year via Zoom than we have ever connected when we could travel. Yeah. So a lot of people do come to L'Atelier and visit. We believe that, let's say, it's an interesting experience to offer, you know, another school or another CCC in another place. It will take, however, the identity of that place with those people in that context. So in order to be true to the identity of human beings, we don't believe having, you know, a replica around the world is something that fits our identity and our purpose. Now, to have friends, cousins, evolve in the world, and to have different CCCs around the world that want to enter in a relationship, I think is a magnificent idea.
Yeah.
But then that place should have that identity, develop their experience, and not be guided by a sameness that needs to follow our thoughts. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. I see. Yeah, you're right. Yeah. Okay.
I think that it's a beautiful idea to inspire other people to open in relationship to us, but we will never ask for a franchise or follow our rules, because we believe that the identity of each person is it's a treasure. It's precious, and as such, it has to be respected.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, right. But thank you so much, Simonetta. It's amazing. I don't know. Do you have we are in the end of this interview. Do you have I don't know, a sentence, a word that you want to finish? Help, some people to if you have a project, you are passionate in something, like, I like to interview people like you, like, you had an idea and poof, but it's not like poof, he need time, but you did, and it's amazing, grow, and you continue, really. I see you are passionate. I feel that also. If we have the screen, I feel that. So do you have this? I really would like if you can share with the people here.
Yeah, one closing sentence or an idea, poof, like that. Maybe what I can ask is, why an atelier? Why is it important to have an atelier in your life? An atelier, as we just said, is not a place of art.
No.
Only. So, why is it important to continue? Maybe I'm not going to have a sentence, but maybe I'm going to have questions that I can leave, for the end of this interview. That, of course, I thank you so much, because opening the opportunity to talk and to share is, I think, what's most important. So why an atelier? Why are the languages, the 100 languages theory, so important for the life of education of children, but also of adults?
Yeah.
Why is it important to invest in identity? Why is it important to invest in the sense of place and to contextualize the work of children?
Right.
Why is it important to maintain the idea of co-construction knowledge together with others and not to live in islands or in isolation? Why is it important to cross boundaries and create relationships among schools, but also to take off the roof of the school and let it rain in anything that can happen? And this is a sentence from Sergio Spaggiari when he visited l'Atelier school. He was a director of the Reggio Emilia schools at that time. And he said, schools should be places without roof, so that everything can rain into it. As a director and a teacher needs to be a little bit of a director, of a musician, of a teacher, of an artist, and take on all these different identities. And then I would say, why and how a preschool, 0 to 6 years old, is so important for humanity and for the change of that we so need in society. And I would say that big question of why, and why do we keep investing? And luckily, every single year of the last 26 years has been incredible and wonderful. And there's not been one day that I have said, I don't have a purpose, or I don't know why I'm doing what I'm doing. So I think that the why brings me back to the year 2000, when Amelia came and visited first l'Atelier, and she asked, look at your school. Could this school be placed in another place like Japan? And would it still work? And we looked around and we said, well, yes. And she says, that's what you need to work on, your identity, because your school is your school and you cannot place it in any other context. It has to show who you are and be true to yourself. And that's why is very, very important. So I don't know if these questions, Olivia, give a little bit of a possibility for a new, you know, counter, maybe to begin to answer them, which is always important.
Yeah. But thank you so much, Simonetta. It was amazing. Thank you very much.
Thank you. I'm so honored to be interviewed by you, and you know, I wish to continue to be in relationship, you know, and in connection, so that we can, you know, continue to work.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.